Hi, hello, welcome. I hope you are all doing well. I'm feeling a little bit of a funny throat lately, so I have some honey and water. So I don't have any lemon, so it's just honey. Let's see how I get through this episode just with my throat feeling a little bit weird, but I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having some time to sort of relax, unwind, a little bit of a break from your normal day to day. Let's just get straight into this episode, Am I the Asshole? The first one, just from the title, I'm thinking possibly could be the asshole, but let's find out. So, am I the asshole for not warning my Jewish and Muslim friends and letting them eat pork? That seems pretty bad to me, but let's see. My grandmother is old school. I love it. She's actually my great-grandmother, so she's even older than boomers. She still does all kinds of stuff for herself and she loves to bake. One of her traditions is that she makes about 1 million pies for Thanksgiving, enough so that almost everyone gets a pie to take home all for themselves. And yes, when I was younger, I ate an entire pie at one sitting, no regrets. Pies can be different size. What size of pie are we talking here? What kind of pie are we talking? I love pies. Do you know, it wasn't until I moved to Germany that I realised that pies are British. It's certainly like the savoury kind, you know, like steak and ale pie, or steak and kidney pie, chicken and mushroom pie, chicken, mushroom and leek pie, shepherd's pie, cottage pie, all the pies, right? I don't know, I just thought pies were a thing, and I came to Germany and there's not a pie in sight, so I'm quite sad about that. I miss pies. Anyway. I'm currently living with a few people in a house we rent together. There are 7 of us total and we have some friction, but not more than usual, I think. Everyone pays on time, nobody's a jerk about loud noises, we get along. Until now. I left my pie in my area of the fridge that I use. I was there for a few days. It was there for a few days and then it was gone. I asked why it was gone. My roommates admitted that they were high and ate my pie. Okay. They were originally only going to eat a tiny slice that I might not notice, but once again, they were high. They said they were sorry, but that the crust was so crisp and flaky that they couldn't help themselves. I would be really annoyed at that, to be honest. I don't share food unless it's like with someone special, okay? I share food with my partner and that's about it. I told them it was like that because my grandma uses pork lard that she tenders herself to make the crust. This has now caused a problem because I didn't warn them not to take my food. Okay, now I'm understanding. We've all borrowed food from each other. We always pay it back. It has worked for us. But now they're pissed that I didn't warn them there was pork in the pie. I'm not mad that they ate the pie. I had the pie sweats after Thanksgiving. I would have shared and warned them if they had asked. Okay. So first off, I thought that it was just like, yeah, here's a pie from my grandma, it's got pork in it, I'm not going to tell you, I'm just going to let you eat it, which would have for sure been a dick move. However, this pie was in OP's area of the fridge, so they're not expecting somebody else to eat it necessarily. However, they do admit that they've shared food in the past. So for that reason, to be honest, I would say it wouldn't be an unfair, not assumption, but like an unfair possibility that they might eat OP's pie. So this is kind of a tricky one. I would say if they didn't share food, if like no one borrowed other people's food, they didn't share it at all, then no, it's fine because it was their fault that they ate it. Why would you want to warn them about something you didn't expect them to eat? But since there is a little bit of sharing going on, I think it would be nice just to put a post-it on it or something like contains pork, just so they didn't know. But at the same time, is that really OP's responsibility to do that? Like, are they supposed to mark everything on their part of the shelf just in case someone else eats it? I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and say unfortunate situation, but not the asshole, actually. OP says they're not mad that they ate his... Is it a he? They're not mad that they ate their pie. But... yeah, I would be annoyed at that, and then I would be kind of like, serves you right. But again, there's the backstory, there's a history in the context of they have shared food in the past. So I'm going to say it's unfortunate, but I don't think the OP is the asshole there, to be honest. Yeah, because it's like if you eat somebody else's food, that's like your responsibility to make sure that you can eat it. Do you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't expect someone else to mark like my food allergies on their food. So yeah, not the asshole. Next one. Am I the asshole for not buying my son a car like I did for the rest of his siblings? Let's find out. So OP is a 49-year-old male who has 4 kids, twin boys who are both 27, one girl who's 25, and another son who is 21. This post is about my youngest son, Jack. Since they were children, I promised my kids 2 things. 1, I'll fully pay for all of their college expenses, housing, tuition, food, etc. That's a fucking good deal. And 2, once they graduate college, I will buy them a car. I kept that promise for all my kids, except with Jack, and now I want to know if I'm being an asshole for that. I paid for Jack's college expenses, but I'm refusing to buy him a car. Below are some of the reasons why. 1, I co-signed my name on the lease for Jack's room that he rents with a friend, and I send Jack his portion of the rent every month. The friend started taking advantage of my name being on the lease and stopped paying for rent too, knowing I will cover the amount because I don't want missed payments on my credit score. That's not cool. I asked Jack multiple times to ask his roommate to pay his portion, but the boy did not care to even respond to me, and I ended up paying for 6 months of his friend's rent too until I finally solved the problem by getting my name out of the lease. That's not necessarily Jack's fault though. Like, if your roommate wants to be a dick, they're gonna be a fucking dick. Do you know what I mean? I don't know who OP is referring to when they say, but the boy did not even care to respond, if he means Jack or the roommate. But whatever. Number 2, Jack is very rude. Oh, Jack has a very rude and entitled attitude. Okay. He speaks to us like we are his low-performing employees. The only time he contacts us is when he wants money and goes no contact otherwise. And we don't know what we ever did to him to treat us that way. 3, last year when my wife had to be hospitalised, all of my kids flew back home to be there for their mother. Jack didn't want to, but one of his siblings bought him a ticket and talked him into flying out. Instead of being glad to be beside his very sick mother at the hospital, he spent the entire visit making everyone run errands for him. His sister has to cook a very specific type of meal for him, and we had to drive him to the gym at a very specific time that he demands. You don't have to do that. If he was being an asshole about it and he kept asking you and whatever, I can understand how you were pressured into it, but you didn't have to do it. You could easily just stand your ground and refuse. Sounds like enabling to me. I know it's not always that simple, but you know, all we've got is the post. That sounds like enabling. Anyway, and acted like it was one huge inconvenience for him to have to fly out. I even talked to my other kids about whether we were bad parents that caused Jack to act this way, but all of my other kids don't know why he ended up entitled and spoiled. The rest of my kids are extremely different from Jack. We all get along with each other and care about one another. For the rest of my kids, I spent maybe 100k on each kid's college expenses in total. With Jack's careless spending habits and unwillingness to save us any money, Jack's college years ended up costing me 180k. So I refused to buy the promised car. Jack's upset and has gone to his grandparents complaining about me. My mother-in-law already hates me and is now calling me an asshole, saying I'm playing favourites because I bought everyone a car and not Jack. Sip, sip. Do I look like Kermit? Kind of like, because see the thing is, right, see if we go all like technically lawyer on this shit, you didn't put any caveats in that promise. You said that you would pay for all of their college expenses and then buy them a car once they graduate. You didn't say dependent on your behaviour, your attitude, if like whether or not you're an asshole. Do you know what I mean? So technically, if that were to be a contract in writing, you would be in breach of contract. That's not how things work. You're not going to put a contract together for your child, probably. So yeah, I do think, like I say, it sounds as if they're enabling him. So it would be just as bad, even worse, if they were to take like all Jack's supposedly bad attitude, bad behaviour, and then still reward him essentially with a car. Like, they've already spent almost double on the college expenses. So I would say like it's probably, I hope, more than an equivalent amount, because are you spending 80k on a car for your kids? I fucking hope not. But it sounds as if they've already spent a lot of money on him compared to the others. He's been a wee dick. They have paid for all his college expenses. So, nah, I don't think so. I think it would be different if it was just like they just decided not to. But then to be fair, like even if all the kids were like really well behaved, including Jack, you don't know what the money situation is. Do you know what I mean? Like, they shouldn't have to like get themselves in debt or like break their backs working extra time just to get their son a luxury, essentially, but that doesn't seem to be the situation here. They haven't mentioned anything about, what their financial situation is. Seems like the guy is just an asshole, the son is just an asshole, and the parents don't want to get him a car anymore, which I think is fair, to be honest. I don't know. Well, I do know what I would do in that situation. I would have put together a proper terms and conditions at the start. But yeah, not the asshole. Not the asshole. It's fine. It's fine. Kid's a dick. Next one. Am I the asshole for refusing to apologise to my cousin for outing her after she insulted my wife and child? I think you might be, buddy. So my wife, Julie, who's a 26-year-old female, used to be gay. Bitch, how do you used to be gay? Like, did they used to think that they were gay? Did they used to date women and now they won't? Or now they don't, which doesn't necessarily mean that you're not gay anymore. It just means that you're not currently dating a woman. It just annoys me when people say like, oh, they're gay now, or they used to be gay, and it's like, it just annoys me. Anyway, apparently she used to be gay. She thought she was gay for most of her teenage life, and all through college, she exclusively dated girls. She had very supportive parents and siblings who always accepted her. Then 2 years ago, in her final year of uni, she and a large group of her friends visited my hometown as friends of my cousin Emma, who's a 26-year-old female, and that's where we first met. Okay, so OP has a cousin Emma. Emma had some friends who visited her, and now OP is married to one of those friends. Yeah? Okay. Though Julie thought she was gay and said she had never been attracted to a man before, we somehow hit it off. Spent the holiday drinking and laughing together. I took her to visit some nice places in the town, and on our last night we kissed and made plans to see where things go. After the visit, Emma was very rude. So Emma's the cousin, I think the wife is Julie? Yeah. So Emma, the cousin, was very rude and cold towards me. She often made passive-aggressive remarks about me, which I thought was just her wanting drama and kept out of it. Recently, Julie and I found out we are pregnant, and genuinely, despite being unplanned, we could not be happier. Good for you. The last 2 years with her have been heaven. So I proposed and she said yes, and I posted the news on the family group chat. While most people were congratulating us, Emma and her siblings and some other cousins of mine started texting me separately, calling me a user, manipulative, a groomer, and accusing me, what? Accusing me of homophobia. What? That seems to have taken a fucking turn. So it's not just Emma then, it's Emma and some other Emma and her siblings and some other cousins. I'm assuming Emma's siblings are also your cousins. That seems redundant. It doesn't matter. See, I'm super into like the details, and that's why I would have put together a proper contract. Anyway, I genuinely didn't understand why, and upon showing the text to Julie, she got angry and called Emma. I learned Emma has been closeted for nearly 4 years now. My aunt and uncle are strict Catholics. So Julie's parents are supportive, but Emma's parents are strict Catholics, don't know whether or not they'd be supportive because they don't know, and had decided to come out around 2 years ago because she hoped to date Julie. Okay. She said Julie had inspired her to be her true self and she had fallen in love in the process, but then Julie just meets me and suddenly decided she's bi. Emma believed this was me manipulating Julie into becoming straight because I'm a homophobe and a groomer. I'm a 36-year-old male, 10 years older than Julie, and met her when she was 24. I was 34. I got pissed off hearing this, and next time someone called, I told them to simply tell Emma that it's not my fault Julie wasn't gay for her. You just have the personality of a bitch. Ooh! Escalation. Escalation on all fronts. This was bad, do you think? Because at least 2 of the younger cousins told Emma's parents, and now it's become a big issue in her life. Emma called me once to curse at me and wished Julie and her stupid hetero baby would die. Fuck off, you're 26 years old, you're a grown-ass bitch. Like, that's ridiculous. That we were all users and liars. I feel like an asshole for how my actions ended up getting Emma in trouble. I'm sorry for outing her. But you just said Julie wasn't gay for her. You just have the personality of a bitch. That's not necessarily outing her, is it? I mean, it is implying that that Emma wanted Julie to be gay for her. It is implying, but it also feels to me like a stupid high school thing that people say when they're trying to bully someone. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, you're gay for each other, as if being gay is a bad thing. Gay is not a substitute for shitty. You know that song? Anyway, I feel like an asshole for my actions getting Emma into trouble. I'm sorry for outing her, but I can't get myself to apologise because she started it all. And I think her cruel words negate any need for apologies on mine and Julie's part. So am I the asshole? Who did you even say it to? Emma called me once to curse at me. Wait. I got pissed off hearing this, and next time someone called, I told them to simply tell Emma it's not my fault. So I'm guessing their OP's talking about Emma's siblings and cousins, right? Are you the asshole? Generally, I always think that outing people is a dick move. However, if someone says that you, your wife, and your unborn baby should die, that's pretty fucking strong. So I definitely think that outing someone as retaliation, you know, if you were doing it on purpose, that would be like a horrible, terrible thing to do. But if it was like something that just came out because you were pissed off about the crap that she was saying about you, and it just like before you knew it, you'd said it kind of thing, then I can understand like accidents happen. But we still don't know here, like, if Emma's parents know, because it sounds as if it wasn't said to Emma's parents. And didn't she already say that she decided to come out 2 years ago? Let me see this. Let me see. Yeah, I learned Emma's been closeted for nearly 4 years ago and decided to come out around 2 years ago because she hoped to date Julie. So she is partially out, at least, right? And they didn't explicitly say that her parents don't know. Right? They've just said that her parents are strict Catholics, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be against, you know, Emma being gay or bi or whatever she is. And then it doesn't explicitly say that they didn't know or that they know now. Are you the asshole? If you did it on purpose, then yeah, you're the asshole, but it sounds as if they didn't do it on purpose, so I'm going to say that was just an unfortunate mistake, and regardless, Emma seems like the asshole for telling them that they should go and die. That's like I say, you're grown-ass fucking adults. The groomer comment, what else was it? A user in what way? Like who is OP using exactly? What have they done to use someone? Manipulative, maybe they mean like manipulating Julie into being with them. We don't fucking know what's the basis for that. Like, sometimes things just happen, do you know what I mean? A groomer, okay, there is like a 10-year age gap, but at 24, you're still an adult, you know? And I think once you get to that age, like the older you are, the less the age matters. Obviously, if you're a fucking minor or you were like 2 days ago, then that's an issue. But at 24, I kind of feel like you can make your own decision about that already. And accusing of homophobia, just because you have a relationship with someone who used to not date people of your gender or used to think that they weren't attracted to people of your gender doesn't mean that you're homophobic. If anything, wouldn't you be like, get away from me because you at some point thought that you were gay and I'm like hating that? Do you know what I mean? Nah, doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense. Sounds like Emma's just taking a fit because she's not getting her way. Next. Am I the asshole for telling my husband he mishandled my daughter wetting the bed at 3 a.m? Long story short, my daughter, who's 3 years old, started crying in her room at 3 a.m, which is highly unusual for her. She's usually a very good sleeper. I heard her but was breastfeeding my son, so I couldn't get up. So I woke up my husband and asked him to go and see what was going on. He came back a few minutes later with her in his arms and said she had an accident and was complaining that her throat hurt. He laid her in bed next to me while we changed his clothes. He got pee on his clothes and then picked her up and went back to her room where he stayed with her the rest of the night. At no point did he ask me what to do or tell me what he was going to do. Yeah, so did he change the sheets or what's going on? I got up this morning and went into her room to tell him it was time to get her up for daycare, and he said something about how he slept in pee all night. I asked him what he meant and he told me he put her back into her pee-soaked bed because he didn't know what else to do. You're fucking what the fuck? What the actual fuck? I just spat on my monitor. Oh my god. Really? Really? Oh my... Let's continue. Would you really voluntarily sleep in a pee-soaked bed just because you apparently don't know what to do? Oh my god. Change the fucking sheets, clean it up. Like, sleep in your own bed with her. Like, do something. Oh my God. Anyway, he didn't know what else to do. I told him there was another change of sheets under the wet sheets. I do this specifically so we can rip off the top sheet. And a waterproof mattress cover. Smart. Off on the middle of the night and have a few sets of sheets under ready to go. Perfect. That would have been fucking amazing. He told me he forgot. I left it alone because he was already in a bad mood, but later today I told him that he really shouldn't have put her back into a bed soaked in pee. Yeah, because that's going to like irritate her skin and stuff, and it's also like basically a punishment. That is like, that's not a nice experience for anybody, you know? He got upset and told me he didn't know what to do, and I didn't give him any direction. Bitch, how old are you? How old are you that you need your fucking spouse to tell you what to do? Do you know what? OP doesn't say their gender, but I'm willing to bet that OP is a woman, and so, yeah, because they were breastfeeding, right? Where does it say? Ask him to go. Where is it? Oh, yeah, but I was breastfeeding my son, exactly. So chances are that husband has a little bit of fucking underlying sexism there and thinks that it's the woman's job to look after the kids, therefore she should have given him all the direction that he needed in order to take care of his own fucking child, which, if you've watched this channel before, you know that shit pisses me off. Ugh. And he could have easily asked, like, hey, I don't really know what to do about this situation. Do you have any ideas? Anyway, I told him I didn't realise he needed direction and that it seemed obvious that he wouldn't do that. It turned into a fight and now we're both upset with one another. Am I the asshole for telling him that he shouldn't have put her back in bed like this? Like that? Is this actually an acceptable response to a kid peeing the bed? No, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like I say, that's like a fucking punishment. It's going to like irritate your skin. It's going to smell horrible. It's going to make the child feel like that's what's going to happen every time they have an accident. And they're only fucking 3 years old. No, definitely not the asshole in this situation. Not the asshole. The husband needs to fucking grow up and actually become a fucking parent. My God. Next one. My sister is mad because I let my nephew stay with me when she kicked him out. That's her fucking problem, mate. I have two sisters, T and N. My sister N has 4 kids, a boy and 3 girls. The boy's 21 and lives with my other sister T for the past 6 years. Okay. Sister T, who isn't the mum, who's actually the aunt of the boy. Well, he's a man really, he's 21 years old. Anyway, Sister T gave an ultimatum to my nephew that if he doesn't finish community college, she's going to kick him out. My nephew is not academically inclined, but he tries his best to go to school, works and goes to the gym. My sister T complains so much about him being in the gym. Finally, he dropped out of his classes and offered to leave due to the sister's ultimatum. Sounds like he's willing to accept the consequences, you know, that he obviously, I mean, I don't know, but presumably wouldn't be happy about this ultimatum, but he respects, hey, it's my auntie's house. If that's, you know, the situation, then fine, I can leave if that's necessary. So he offered to leave because he didn't want them to kick him out and be a disappointment. By the way, his father left him when he was little, and his mum, who is OP's sister N, kind of left him and his sisters with my sister T, who took on the guardianship. Okay. So N is this guy's mother, but he's lived with T for what, the past 6 months, they said? Yeah. No, the past 6 years. So T is essentially the guardian, even though he's 21 years old, so he possibly doesn't need a guardian, but she's kicking him out. So, because I'm thinking, like, if it was a situation where even if he was of age, but he still needed care, but if she's just willing to kick him out, then I'm assuming, which I can only do based on the text, so that's not the situation. Anyway, I'm always trying to think of all possibilities for stuff, you know. Anyway, my nephew said that he didn't want to disappoint my sister T and her husband, so he said he'll leave. I offered for him to stay at my house because we have a spare bedroom and it's the holidays. He was going to drive 6 hours to Michigan on Christmas Eve, so I told him to stay here or even forever since his life is here and he doesn't want to move. I told everyone in my family that he's staying with me, but my sister T, because I told everyone but my sister T because I was going to tell her in person. Sounds as if you did that the wrong way around. You should have told her first and then told everybody else, because then it's like you're keeping a secret from her, you know? So today, my sister texts me very angry why I didn't tell her about my plan. She left work early and couldn't do overtime because she had to go to the bank with my nephew to separate his account from from hers. He was a minor when he opened the account, so that's why it was joint. My sister T uninvited me and my family for Christmas Eve because of this. She said I should have told her what I was going to do. I said, why does it matter when you're kicking him out? And I was going to tell her when she gets home from work. Didn't know she was home early. I told Sister T that forcing him to go to school is counterproductive. Let him want to go or figure out what he wants to do. He works, he spends time at the gym, or would you rather him be depressed with the wrong people, do drugs and be miserable? So am I the asshole? No, I don't fucking think you are. Like, what, so everyone is supposed to, like everyone in the family is supposed to turn against this boy just because for whatever reason he dropped out of college? That's ridiculous, that's childish, and it's like unfair. Like, what do you want him to do? Be fucking homeless just because he doesn't want to go to college for whatever reason? Or like maybe he does want to go to college but he's just not good at it? No, T's being ridiculous and fucking like uninviting them and everything. Like I say, OP did it the wrong way around. They shouldn't have been telling everyone else and then be like, I'll tell the sister in person. Tell the sister first and then tell other people. Because it's possibly that's all the sister was pissed off about. Like, not that the sister wanted the guy to be homeless, but just that it was basically kept a secret from her, you know? So no, I don't think OP's an asshole. Sounds as if T's a little bit of an asshole, but maybe she has her reasons. But nah, I don't think you're the asshole. I mean, what was the question? Mad because I let my nephew stay with me? Again, I don't know if that's the reason why she's actually mad. Like, she might be mad just because you didn't tell her about it. So, not the asshole, but plan that out a little bit better next time, let's say that. Where are all the assholes today? Am I the asshole for refusing to speak to my husband over his Christmas plans? My husband is Jewish, and I am a culturally Christian atheist. Went to Catholic school and grew up celebrating Christmas and still celebrate with family and friends. Okay, I've never heard this term culturally Christian atheist before, so that's why I hesitated, but fair enough. A few weeks ago, I mentioned I was getting 2 extra days off from work during the holidays, and that I thought we should use the time to start prepping the nursery. I'm 5 months pregnant and the room needs some work. Furniture and guest bed removed, sickeningly bright green walls repainted, carpet cleaned. At the time, he agreed. Well, it turns out that only did he not take any additional time off himself, he has weeks and weeks of unused vacation. He has made plans to spend Christmas with his Jewish parents. They apparently invited him since he didn't get to visit on his dad's birthday or Hanukkah because of COVID in their household. I just found all this out today when I said we should start the nursery on Christmas Day since we usually visit his family on Christmas Eve. Really? So you want to be doing labour when it's the holidays? Okay. And I'll be busy Saturday doing last minute shopping and wrapping. I'm floored. My husband chose to disregard our plans and spend the holiday with people who do not celebrate it rather than with his wife who does. Yeah, but it sounds like you didn't want to celebrate it either. You just wanted to do housework. And he wasn't planning to tell me about it. How do you know that? What, do you think he was just going to leave the house without saying anything to you? How do you know that? I already knew he struggles to ever say no or set boundaries with his overbearing parents, who could have easily scheduled time Friday or Saturday before Christmas Eve or next week to gather, but this seems so beyond anything I have expected from him. I'm starting to feel like we're not even married anymore. He didn't consult me on his plans for Christmas. This seems all a bit fucking dramatic. He's leaving me alone that day and the next to deal with the nursery on my own. I don't know why, but it pisses me off when like Reddit posters put stuff like in capitals and italics, like stress a point, when actually it's not that big of a fucking deal. Because it's like they want you to think that it's like so dramatic and such a fucking abomination, but it just pisses me off. Anyway. He's leaving me alone and blah, blah, to spend my own. I've had to nag him. You don't have to nag him, you chose to. every other week for the last 2 months to start checking out local daycare. Since I'm swamped at work and his workload is relatively light, he finally got info from one daycare. I've nagged him for the last 2 months to look into life insurance in consideration of the baby, but he hasn't. I'm starting to feel like I might as well be alone. He's sheepishly tried to apologise, but I won't speak to him, and I'm genuinely wondering if this relationship is coming to an end. Our anniversary was a few months ago, and the day before he realised he double booked himself and cancelled our dinner to go to his grandma's birthday dinner. He never rescheduled anything for us. Am I overreacting? Am I the asshole for not being open to an apology that doesn't involve cancelling plans with his parents, which I know he will not? So you're making a whole load of fucking assumptions and you've already decided not to forgive him unless he cancels his plans with his family, essentially. Edit, because it's been mentioned a few times, husband's parents do not have their own Christmas Day tradition. We've been together several years and he's not historically visited them. They are making up for missing Hanukkah, which they could have asked to do on several days other than Christmas. Are you the asshole? For refusing to speak to your husband? Yeah, you are. You're being an asshole. I mean, like, you could say, well, she's however many months pregnant, 5 months pregnant? Yeah. Maybe she's like hormonal or whatever, but like within reason, do you know what I mean? Like, I can understand her being upset and being a bit like press panini and like, can you call them and ask to do it on a different day because I'd really like to spend Christmas together, or like, can we both go? Because it seems a bit weird that his parents invited him but didn't invite her. That seems really odd to me. It sounds a bit exclusionary. I don't see why they can't all be together. Yeah, it's a bit shitty that this is essentially the second time that it's happened in a couple of months, with the grandmother's birthday and the anniversary, of which the anniversary dinner was not rearranged. I can understand you being upset about it, but then refusing to talk about it at all, that's pretty fucking immature. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know that way? Like, obviously you don't want to have an argument, but I feel like it's almost better to have an argument and get your feelings out than to just not talk to each other and just be like in a fucking mood. Like, when do you expect that mood to end? How do you expect it to end? Do you know what I mean? Like, she's essentially putting up a wall, being like, cancel plans with your family or else I'm just not going to talk to you. Do you know what I mean? Oh, this whole thing is just exhausting to me. Like, I don't even have much more to say about it because I'm just like, girl, I don't want to be involved in this. So yeah, okay, maybe you might feel a bit sensitive and that's fine, but I think refusing to speak to him is the bit that makes you an asshole. So there you go. Ask where the assholes are, there they are. Next, and the last one for today. Am I an asshole for telling my cousin's friend that her underwear was showing? You might fucking be. So IOP is a 16-year-old male who was over at my cousin's for Thanksgiving a few weeks ago, and we were hanging out in her basement while the adults watched college football upstairs. My cousin, who's a 19-year-old female, is in college and is a few years older than me. She had some friends over that she knew from high school, and I was happy to be included while they played games and watched movies. One of my cousin's friends, Sarah, who's also 19, was really cute, but my cousin's age, so she was out of my league. I don't think it's about leagues, I think it's about you being a minor and her being a grown-up adult. But I get your point. At least you know that it's not going to happen, okay? However, every time she sat down or bent over, I could see her underwear peeking out over her jeans. It was super obvious because she had on a white sweater, black jeans, black underwear. That doesn't necessarily make it super awkward, super obvious. Like, it's not like it was some neon colour, like black jeans and black underwear. Oh no, white sweater, comma jeans. Okay, so the sweater and the jeans were white and the underwear was black. Okay. There were about 10 teens hanging in the basement, including a good mix of guys she knew and some of my other male cousins. So I assumed she didn't want boys her age or younger seeing her underwear. When there was a break in the game, I very discreetly told her that she should pull her pants up because her underwear was showing in the back. She got angry at me and asked me why I was staring at her underwear. She even called me a sicko pervert. I was just trying to help. I felt super awkward and distanced myself from the group while they started a new game. A few minutes later, my cousin came up to me and said, "I don't know what you said to Sarah, but you need to go upstairs with the parents." Up until that moment, I thought we were having fun and hanging out with my cousins and some of her friends. We had other cousins down there. Some of them were my age or younger, so it's not like I was intruding on my cousin and her friends. Am I the asshole for telling my cousin's friend that her underwear was showing? Yeah, you don't make comments about other people's underwear. You just don't. Like, it doesn't matter whether you think that she was out of your league or whatever. The fact is that you're like some guy that she doesn't really know talking about her underwear. Maybe your intentions were good, but let this just be a lesson to you, you know? Like, you don't talk about other people's underwear. I'm sorry, you just don't. Like, it's creepy. It's creepy. It's weird. It makes her feel self-conscious. And saying you should pull your pants up is as if you're telling her off, as if you feel like you have the right to tell her what to do with her body and her clothing, which is like, no, no. So yeah, even though you didn't mean it in a bad way, it comes across in a bad way. So you kind of are the asshole in that situation inadvertently. But yeah, let that be the lesson of today's video. Alright, that's all the ones I had for you today. I was expecting there to be more festive ones, to be honest, but I'm okay that there wasn't. Like, it's not a big deal. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I'm gonna go off now and I think I'll do a a dating advice one, because I haven't done them in a long time. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Watch some of my other videos if you feel like it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye, bye bye, bye.